oh my God, like walking up to this thing for the first time is very different than walking up to it like before and seeing it in pictures. I cannot wait to turn this camera around. Look what is going on, y'all, and welcome back to inside the Supra. We're currently on the highway and we are on our way to pick up the Tundra. Now, the reason why we are on our way to pick up the Tundra is because the first round of upgrades for off-road, overland, that kind of stuff is done. Now that includes a set of front and rear bumpers from Chassis Unlimited. It includes upper control arms from Dirt King Fabrication, a set of Coach Builder tie rods, and a couple of other things. We've got a whole bunch of lights we put in. There's a worn 9,000 pound, I believe it's a 9,000 pound winch, 9,000, 9,500, somewhere in that area. That is actually flush mounted inside the bumper. We've got controls for all of it, like custom controls for all of that stuff, and I still haven't seen it in person yet. We've also got a set of Chassis Unlimited side steps, which are supposed to be both really nice and also really strong. So hopefully they hold up well, but we're gonna make the rest of this drive and it should be it's beautiful out. It should be a great drive. Like, we have been just going and going lately, y'all. Like, literally this past weekend, we were at Road Atlanta in the BRZ. Supra, and we're on our way to pick up the Tundra after getting all these upgrades done. So not only can I not wait to show you guys the upgrades themselves, I can't wait to get the truck off-road with all of the new upgrades, especially the suspension upgrades, because I really want to see how it feels now. But we'll catch up with you guys when we get a little closer, and we'll see if we got a pass available here. All right, well, we're gonna walk up the hill and check this thing out for the very first time. I mean, I've seen pictures, oh my God, like walking up to this thing for the first time is very different than walking up to it like before and seeing it in pictures. I cannot wait to turn this camera around. Look at that front bumper, the winch setup, everything is like, God, these D-rings are massive. And look at how huge the Coach Builder tie rods are. Got the Dirt King Fabrication upper control arms. God, these steps are insanely huge. I'm a little bit concerned about these steps off-road, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how they do. We'll see what happens. And then the rear bumper I'm really excited about too, because we have a couple more massive D-rings back here. And then of course it interfaces with the hitch. And then, God, that is massive. Got little step bars, right? Well, I say step bars, step holes more like. But wow, I cannot get over how much more clearance it has in the front now. No more rubbing issues for me. God, look, you have all this room. That is wild. I cannot wait to get this thing off-road. I gotta figure out a way to just quickly get the sway bar off. I mean, obviously I know we can unbolt it, but I wanna figure out some kind of quick release system. Dude, look at the like the size of this tie rod connection. This is insane. The size of the bolt in there is just enormous. And the tie rod itself is enormous. God, I can't wait to drive it. Wow, getting this thing back out off-road is gonna be absolutely incredible. But like, looking at it from this angle, I mean, I knew it was gonna look really good, but I had no idea that the front end was gonna be that aggressive. The front end is probably my favorite part of the entire truck. Yeah, that's quite the size comparison. That size comparison is absolutely ridiculous. We need to get this thing somewhere where we can take some better pictures of it. But once we do that, oh my gosh, we need to get it out of the sun, because it's like the sun is really, really bright right here, and it's not the best for the camera, but either way, I mean, if it looked like something out of SnowRunner or Off-Road Outlaws before, it really looks like it is now. It's the next day, and we're out here on a really, well, I wouldn't say really rutted out dirt road, but a dirt road with a fair amount of washboarding to it. You can't really tell on the video, but it is a insane difference with these Coach Builder tie rods and the Dirt King upper control arms. There's way less play in the wheel, and honestly, I mean, beforehand, on the stock tie rods and the stock upper control arms, this truck used to walk all over the place whenever you would go over washboarded back roads on dirt. Now, not even close. It doesn't even remotely start to. I mean, obviously the steering wheel is just gonna, like, you know, it's gonna move a tiny bit, but like, I can take my hands off. And all it does is go in the direction that the road is kind of, you know, cambered towards, which makes sense. I mean, you're obviously on really tall tires and that's gonna happen. But the more I drive it on these dirt back roads, it is absolutely wild how big of a difference in just drivability alone those upgraded tie rods and the upper control arms made. Because now, I gotta be honest, it doesn't really drive like a lifted truck. It drives like a truck that is sitting at stock height, but just has big tires. It doesn't have any of that, like, lifted truck weirdness to it. And now, I mean, I can go into a rut or a bump on one side and, you know, it'll just keep going straight and that side will just dip down and come back up. And that's all it will do. And I think when you really think about it, like, the best compliment you can give to any lifted truck is that it doesn't drive like a lifted truck. As weird as that sounds, I feel like that's top praise for any lifted truck, is that it doesn't drive like a lifted truck, because so many lifted trucks drive really, really bad. They've got all this steering play, they've got loads of bump steer, they've got all of these undesirable driving characteristics. And while there are still, you know, a couple of things that will make you go, oh yeah, you know, I'm reminded that this is a lifted truck, it's not all like that. And I think that that's probably the biggest level of praise I can give. All right, I found a spot to pull off the road and show you guys the truck a little bit more. And I tried to pull a little bit further up, but I've discovered that when I do that, and then I try to set the handbrake, well, I shouldn't say the handbrake, the e-brake, because it's a push brake, a foot brake, it gives up. And the truck just kind of rolls backwards a little bit. So this is apparently the maximum, like, angle for a hill where the e-brake will hold it on the 37s. But either way, like, I wanted to take a picture of it. Like up there, but you know, sometime soon, maybe next time. But let me give you guys a little bit of a closer look at these massive Dirt King upper control arms, and of course the gigantic Coach Builder tie rods. Now, I gotta say though, when I back up and get like a better look at this thing from the outside, I am just still so blown away by it. I mean, and also, I meant to show you guys this, the Warn winch setup, if you look, and I don't know if it's visible on camera or how visible it is on camera, but if you look like really deep, way back in there, there's a latch that you can undo. And once you undo that latch, then you can get the winch to free spool. So that's something that I'm gonna try to figure out, you know, whether or not getting in there is, you know, all that easy, or maybe it's a little bit tricky. We'll see. I gotta play with it and see what it does. Now, the lighting setup. Now, I need to take this thing out like really late at night and show you guys the lighting setup, but let me go ahead and turn some of these on for you guys. And the switches are mounted right down here. And let's start from left to right. Now, this is gonna be the center bar. You should get a view of the center bar right there. So we'll go ahead and go back in the door. I'm gonna pull it closed so it doesn't fall on me. All right, now, that's off. Middle switch now. Okay, so that is the inner pods. That last switch on, and that should give us all of our pods. And once we have all of our pods, oh, dude, now you can see inside pods and outside pods, and then you combine that with the center bar, and you are not gonna be in really any situation on any trail where you can't see. Now, the next thing I'm really excited to talk to you guys about and share with you guys is this. This is my Warn wireless winch controller. Now, it is both wire capable, or I should say, you know, wired capable and Bluetooth capable. So if we go ahead and hold the top button down, a blue light should come on, and that should mean that it is turned on. Now, let's go ahead and see if we can let this line out just a little bit. Let's go ahead and see. There we go. Bug flew in my face, but let's see. We'll do it just a little bit more. Let's see, that should give us, there we go, a little bit of line. Now, if we want to wind it back in, give it a little bit. Not bad. Just a little bit more to where it's not fully tight, but yeah, not too bad. I don't want it to be too tight. There we go, that's, yeah, it's still got some give to it, but not, you know, not anything crazy. So we'll go ahead and hold this down to turn it off so we don't run the battery out. But the cool thing about this controller is that if you do need to plug it in, there's a cable that is mounted in a tucked away location under the hood that actually plugs in on the bottom of the controller here. And once it's plugged in, it works exactly the same, so that if your Bluetooth were ever to fail, you still have another connection on the bottom of the remote, which I really, really like. And that means really at the end of the day, you won't have to worry about whether or not your remote runs out of battery. Well, finally got the Dirt King sticker up there on the back window of the truck. I guess that makes it official now, maybe? I don't know. Maybe we need to call up the guys over at Dirt King and find out if that makes us like official, because, you know, it's one thing to have just have the control arms on the front. It's a whole nother thing to have the sticker on the back window. No, I'm just messing around, but honestly though, like, and I've just found this random campsite on the side of the road and just kind of parked the truck up here, but like, bro, I cannot stop looking at this thing, and I know that we haven't gotten a chance to have it out on any, like, proper full-on trails yet, but even the little bit of driving that we've gotten to do with it already is just absolutely incredible. And I mean, I cannot wait to take it out to not only some of my local trails, also, I don't know where this goes. It looks like a mountain bike trail. I don't know, it looks like a mountain bike trail to me. It actually looks like there's a little bit of a lip down there that you could maybe do a little bit of a hop, almost like a mini transfer to like the other like mini berm down there. I don't know, maybe it's just my mountain biker brain talking, but either way, I'm thinking about taking it out maybe to do some of the like, you know, easy trails at Windrock. I don't want to like, you know, obviously I don't want to send it into any like, you know, crazy rock crawling like right off the bat. It's not really built for that. But I know that there are trails out at Windrock that can be done in stock Jeeps. And so I figured, you know, hey, if there's trails out there that can be done in stock Jeeps, I'm sure that this thing will be able to do it. I mean, now that we've got all that clearance in the front, we've already got the 37s on. I know they're not MTs, they're an AT, but they're not a bad AT. I actually am still really impressed with these Maxxis Razor ATs. I mean, they've done really, really well for me. I mean, I haven't had them for a super long time, but they don't really show any signs of having any kind of weird wear, like at all, like genuinely at all. And I love the way these 17-inch fuel coverts came out. Now, I will say, for those of you guys that did not watch the previous video where we put the wheels and tires on the truck, there was a little bit of a clearance issue up front. We were having some clearance issues, especially with the, not necessarily with the brakes, but we were having, what were we having? Oh my gosh, we were having issues contacting the outer tie rod end, I believe. But once we put the spacers on there, obviously that issue went away, and I'm really glad that we have enough clearance still to run those Coach Builder outer tie rod ends, because as you'll see, well, let me see if I can get the camera in there and show you guys. As you can see, they are a little bit close to the inside of the wheel. Not necessarily like a, you know, like a really detrimental amount, but they are kind of close. And so, you know, with that being said, I'm really glad that we were able to sort that out with the spacers. But either way, if there are any trails that you guys would like to see me take this thing on in the, you know, southeast-ish area, you know, I'm talking about, you know, let's say Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, areas like even South Carolina, like areas like that, let me know in the comment section down below, because I am so excited to get this thing out on some adventures. I am so incredibly pumped, because the amount of things we can do with it now are just, I'm literally just, I'm honestly like losing my words, because I feel like I'm staring at a SnowRunner mod in real life. That's what it feels like, you know? It literally feels like I built this truck in a game, and here it is right in front of me. It's very, very surreal, actually. It's a genuinely surreal moment. But with all of that being said and done, guys, hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to let me know any thoughts and opinions that you guys have down in that comment section below. If you're new around here and you want to follow along in the adventures, hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on, and I will see y'all next time. Talk to y'all later.